Hello everyone, welcome to Mind Garbage. My name is Eric. Today I want to be talking to you a little bit about the expansion to Dying Light that just came out about a week ago or so now, depending on when this posts. Dying Light, The Following. Not The Following expansion, even though it is The Following expansion. The name of the expansion is called The Following. I've had a little bit of time to play it and digest it, and that's what I wanted to do when I talked about it, is that I didn't want to just kind of jump in, my initial thoughts being like, oh, this is freaking wonderful and awesome. And it is really cool, but there's some things that I wanted to address, and my overall feelings on the expansion. Original Dying Light, when it came out, I loved it. I was a huge fan of it. It came out last year in, I think, into January. And I've been following the game when it got announced. I was a big fan of Dead Island, and to a lesser extent Dead Island Riptide, because it's not really an island, it's a swamp. You can't really lie to me and tell me that a swamp is an island, because that's just simply not true. But, Dying Light was coming out, and I was kind of like, this obviously is like some sort of spiritual successor to Dead Island, and Dying Light came out, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Later in that year, they announced this expansion, and while the base game itself is the same, the combat is the same, crafting is the same mechanics with parkour and everything, this is almost a completely different kind of game. The setting is more akin to what Dying Light was more like, where you had, little towns or whatever, but this one gives me a very big, Walking Dead kind of vibe. The reason why is when you go out, and I won't spoil anything to the story, so don't worry, no spoilers. You go out to this big, open, kind of like land sort of area, and it's like a wide open countryside, and the only way to get around is with a buggy. You could walk, but trust me, you don't want to walk. I tried walking, kind of sucks. It's not as fast as taking a buggy, and the reason why I say it gives me a Walking Dead vibe is that you'll look and there'll be just country stretch for as far as the draw distance allows, and you'll see just tons of zombies walking around doing zombie stuff, And it got me thinking, I really like what Techland has here. They have something really special with the Dying Light franchise that, now that technically the base game and expansion, and there's something eerie about this expansion taking place after the initial game, and you kind of are seeing, within the story, that people are now at this point, they're just trying to survive. And it's not a matter of, in the initial game, it was kind of like, oh, rescue's coming, we're going to get rescued. And that's what people were just kind of banding together until they were going to get rescued. And this is not the case in The Following. Everyone's trying to survive. And I like that little bit of environmental storytelling that you see when you go into a farm or some kind of safe house or whatever, and you kind of get the feeling that there's people trying to survive. And I like that. It gives it more of a character of a world, that makes the world a character. That's what I was trying to say. It's enjoyable. I like seeing environmental storytelling. One of my favorite games, The Last of Us, was master of it, and it's not like Last of Us level, but it's pretty good. One of the things I enjoyed is there's a quest where you have to go into a post office to find this package. Excuse me. And you walk into this post office, and it's kind of ransacked a little bit. And you go up into the main office, and as soon as you open the door, the head of the post office, I don't know what they're called, I'm sorry, he's hung himself. And I thought that was really interesting because, you're seeing people start to lose hope and feel like there's no way out of the situation that they're in. And that's super interesting. There's not many games, you see where, specifically The Last of Us shows 20 years afterwards. And it's kind of a snapshot in time of people that had hope and then kind of immediately lost it, it seems like. Whereas this is the early stages, and that's always something super fascinating to me. With any zombie movie or post-apocalyptic movie, I always like the ones that are either right afterwards with people trying to survive, or years and years and years later, like The Last of Us or The Walking Dead now. One of the things that I don't necessarily like is, and it's a mixed bag, is the buggy. Mechanically, the buggy is an awesome addition. It feels, it's one of those things where I like the fact that it's like another weapon or another tool that you have to maintain it, and you can't just drive it around. Like, kind of, if you played Dead Island before, you could drive around and it did not matter at all. The worst that would happen is that you'd have to kick your windshield out, and you could drive it anywhere for as long as you needed, and anywhere you could get it. And it was basically just like, you just can drive right through as many zombies as you need to. It doesn't matter. And in this, that's not really the case. You can upgrade your buggy, which is cool. I haven't upgraded it too much. I'm mostly done with the story. At this point, I'm like the max level of the trust level with, the faceless, as they're called. And I think I'm level 5 or 6 on the buggy, so I have a few upgrades, but I'm just trying to get more parts because I want to have a nice, durable buggy. I don't want to just have, like, some crappy buggy, And there's upgrades that you can get where you can have, like, a mine dispenser, a car alarm that goes off that'll attract zombies to your buggy, nitrous, which I don't know why a buggy needs nitrous oxide, but all these things make for an interesting mechanic with the buggy. It's different than most games usually are, where you just have a vehicle and it just either takes damage and you find a new one, where it's like, this is your car and you're going to maintain it. One of the things that I do not really appreciate is when you drive, there'll be infected that start chasing after you. And that would not be a problem if there was no, if there wasn't like a, difficult finding, I don't know, it's very difficult to get them off of your car. That's what I'm trying to say. They'll jump on your car and you can slam on your brakes and they do not fall off. And not that, at least that I have found. You could jerk the wheel and brake. They don't fall off. You could start backing up very fast. They don't fall off. And the only option I found is to get out of my car and sit and wait for infected to run at me and then do that, hack at them or whatever, which is not something I particularly care for. I'm sure that there's an upgrade later on that I can do, but I don't really like the fact that that's an upgrade that I have to get. And the sheer volume at which the infected charge at you, it's insane. I've had as many as 7 just start running after me. It's like, this is ridiculous. Why is this happening? I just want to get to where I need to go. And also, it's not a driving game. Driving is really wonky. And it's like, to the point where it's like you get caught on objects that you should not get caught on. So the buggy I have very mixed feelings about. There are things that I enjoy. One of the things I really like is that you can't just drive through a million zombies and maintain speed. I like the fact that it actually slows down your car and you feel kind of the weight of hitting them. And that it's kind of like, I probably shouldn't do this because I'm going to get slowed down, and if there's a giant swarm, they could swarm you, and that's not good either. So that's, my overall thought on the buggy. Another thing that I'm kind of like iffy on is the story so far is like, it's okay. If you played Dying Light before, the story is kind of like, it's interesting, but it's kind of passable on this one. There's this weird, it's like a cult that, or not a cult, but like these people that do not get infected when they get bit. And there is some kind of cult, and you're trying to get their trust so that you can figure out what's going on. But it's like, you don't really know what's going on. It's a whole lot of intrigue for no reason, kind of. So that's kind of my thoughts on the story. It's fine, it's passable, but that's not really what you play it for. Replay value, I'm not seeing a ton so far. I have not really even been playing it, and I feel like not a whole lot of interest to go back. I'm going to go back and finish it. I feel like I've seen everything that I really needed to see, and that kind of sucks because I feel like the base game is so good. I'll go back every now and then and just run around and do whatever. In the following, I'm not sure how much I will. That being said, if you haven't played the original Dying Light and you're wanting to get into it, They just came out with the Enhanced Edition, which comes with the base game and all the DLC, including the following, for the price of $60 or whatever for the brand new game. Get on it. You will, if you're a fan of, kind of like a hack and slash, not hack and slash, but just, that style of game, which is Dying Light, and if you have never really played either the Dead Islands before, it's kind of like you got a whole bunch of zombies and you hack and slash them, and there's crafting and RPG elements and that sort of stuff, and parkour, which is awesome and works really well, then you should definitely give the game a try. The following so far, I'm feeling like a 7 out of 10. It's good, and I'm glad to be back in that world, but it's, that's kind of where it is. It's just good. That's how I feel about it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends so that, I can get views and stuff, because that would be pretty cool. I'll do anything for $1, so please give me the money. And, yeah. Anyways, if you'd like to keep up with me, follow me on Twitter at EricMyers93. If you would like to follow the channel on Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter at 3_beersin. That's an underscore. I don't know if you can see that. It's like... That's... I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. I was supposed to work today, and I'm not working today. So I'm kind of just like, oh man, I'm really bored. I've been playing Life is Strange, which you might be able to see TV back there. If not, I might have a video on that soon, because I got some stuff to say about that. That's what we call an Easter egg. Not really, because it's kind of like, it's coming. But I'm just wasting time right now for no reason. Thank you guys for watching.